Well, Olivia, I'm really glad to see you again. And I wanted to turn the video recorder on just to recapture what you just had said, which was basically that this was not okay and tired is not okay. And can you repeat that?
Pain is not okay, and being stuck at home all the time and not having my independence is not okay, and not being able to do X, Y, and Z is not okay. And now I've realized that it is. It is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally, things are fine, and
Uh,
yeah,
Now,
I don't have to
thank you
wait
for that.
anymore.
Thank you for that because what I would like to do is to point out to you that you went through a series of unwholesome thoughts, one after another, with basically this, that, the other thing is not okay, and neither is that, and life is shit, and on and on and on and on. And you know how to do that because you're in the habit of it. And then you woke up with one new thought moment. Wait a minute, things are already okay. And that negated about, gosh, 15 or 20 mind moments of negativity.
Yeah,
So congratulations to see also that's powerful, to see how powerful the positive thoughts are, because we just pile on negative thoughts one after another after another after another.
and also I think what can make it challenging to take on these positive thoughts is because our habit is obviously to have the
Hmm.
negative thoughts, and so that with that habit it comes a feeling of rightness, like even though it doesn't make me feel good, it feels right because that is what I have been doing in my life, and so therefore that feels safe. And so
Yes.
then if I say no, I'm not going to think that negative thought, and I'm going to think it's positive thought, even though it feels better, it feels really unsafe almost. It
Yes.
and I can feel it all in my body, and it all tenses up and it goes, no, this is not okay, just this positive thought isn't. And then you have to then go on to that as well, and it's, I think that's the resistance.
That's very interesting that you would say that. That was, I think, why the Buddha put it as a whole list, in the sense of also visiting that one too, in the sense of, yes, this strange thought that everything is okay is kind of scary compared to the way things used to be, but really it's not. Really, it's not really scary, that there really is nothing to be afraid of here, that everything really is okay. And so we have to go through a kind of second and maybe third layer of it to check things out, one after another, which can be done in succession. Um, and so uh, I'll forego my joke and get into a story that the Buddha told.
Mhm.
And that story was about a cowherd, that when he's taking the cows out from the shed or whatever, he's got to go along the path, and on the path there's food stalls and people and kids and whatnot like that. And so while he is getting the cows out, he has to use a stick to hit the cows from time to time, to keep that cow from stepping on a kid, or to hit that cow to stop it from knocking that food stall over, or to hit that cow to keep him from eating the vegetables that are on the food stand. Because he knows that if he doesn't do all of that stuff, that it could be dangerous for him, that people would complain. And so it's his job to make sure that his cows are not going to be causing any trouble. Okay? And that the Buddha likens this to the beginning practice of anapanasati, in the sense that if we don't mind our thoughts, they will go off into dangerous places, harmful places. And so we have to be on vigil to make sure that, and that instead of thinking of, well, striking the cow is actually kind of violent, and I don't want to be violent to the mind. Another way of saying it is, no, it's really kind of guidance, and that the fact is that we feel relieved because we didn't let the cow go do that damage, right? And so we begin to have the feeling of relief every time we catch the mind in an unwholesome state. We allow that relief to happen, and that here you are having a wholesome thought and then beginning to feel afraid because I've been letting the cows run all over the place, and now, what am I going to do? And so this is a way of beginning to understand that um, we need to hit the next cow too to keep that cow from going into the fear stall and making a bunch of damage in there.
Mhm.
Okay, and then the next one, and the next thought, and the next one after that. Now, the end of the story, or at least the great middle of the story, is that once the cow herd gets the cattle out beyond the pasture, out into the pasture, where the rice harvest has already been finished and there's stubble for them. Now he just has to keep track of where they are. That he
Right.
doesn't have to go hit them or herd them or do anything like that, because now, in the sense of the one who is practicing anapanasati, is that now we have one wholesome thought after another, and that for that way we can actually relax. Because you see, this is all really about relaxation. And you can think of it is that so long as we're letting those unwholesome thoughts go around doing damage, that just gets us more work and more things to do, and it's kind of upsetting and unsettling. Like life is not okay, and pain is not okay, and all of that kind of stuff is actually a kind of agitation. It's not really a relaxed thought. But when you tell yourself everything is okay, and then you recognize even I don't have to be afraid, that everything really is okay. And so we start having one wholesome thought after another. That's a completely different state of relaxation than just sitting with unwholesome thoughts. But then that level is when the mind, we have to be on guard for it. To on guard for every thought, one after another, just like you were saying, that I had that realization, hey, everything is okay. And then you become afraid. And so we have to look at that one too. Every mind moment, we begin to say that, okay, now they're beginning to look really wholesome. And so now we can take even the next level step down into relaxation, because we know that every thought is wholesome, everything is good. And then that level is when some really strange, deeper sensations of insight come, in that sense of, well, everything really is okay. you know, and like, wow. And so this insight about everything being okay has layer and layer of layers of it.
Yeah.
And once we get the mind in a really, really wholesome state, that's when we can go from one wholesome thought after another after another. Now, there's actually even further positions than that, and that is that the Buddha talks about it leaving the analogy behind, but one when we get one thought after another that's wholesome, so that we can maintain this wholesome state, which in the sutras we also talk about it applying the mind to the wholesome and then sustaining it on the wholesome. So now we've got it sustained on the wholesome. By having it sustained on the wholesome, now we begin to see even that is a bit of work. And I can start putting some gaps even between the wholesome thoughts, and start allowing some nice, easygoing silence in there that I don't even have to think about how nice things are. I can just sit and experience how nice things really are.
Yeah.
And so this is the reason why it's actually a procedure of one relaxation state into the next, but most people try to go into those deeper states of relaxation without having the mind really cleaned out in the sense of one wholesome thought after another after another. Now, sometimes when I say cleaned out, people think about for all time or all the junk is gone. Where in fact, no, we're just talking about right now, just this very moment,
Yeah.
just this one is okay. Everything is all right.
Mm.
And so think about that cow herd that we have to make sure that we keep lining the thoughts up one after another to be wholesome. So when we come out of that unwholesome and we recognize, oh, everything really is okay, then you can kind of be on guard. I bet some niggling of fear is going to come up, and I can whack that one too.
Yeah.
And so we can go into those deeper relaxed states where all the thoughts are wholesome and all the feelings are wholesome. But in a really important way, then breathing becomes all the more important in the sense of breathing in long and everything is okay, and breathing out long and it's relaxed. I tend to use the word sigh.
Yeah.
All the work is done, everything is okay, no more unwholesome thoughts or feelings. And so we can practice that for 5, 10, 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, maybe a minute. But pretty soon those unwholesome thoughts are going to come back up. And then if we can catch them in time, we can whack it and keep it from going off into doing damage again. And so
Yeah.
this is the way we want to practice. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've noticed these cycles, which I think I know why they're happening. And I'm kind of fine for a bit, and then I'm not quick enough, and I let too many unwholesome thoughts come in, and then I start to spiral down again into unwholesome thoughts, and then I come up, be frozen. Can you still hear me? Um,